Hey all you Lego heads out there, and a special shout out to Max who loves Lego and loves his splat, and I hear is pretty good on the drums. I'm giving you the challenge to design your own hair, hat, helmet or gizmo for a Lego minifigure. Make it resemble someone you know, like a funny teacher, or create a totally imaginative look. I'm Glenn, here's how to draw a Lego head. First let's take the hair off Hermione. Let's start with some measurements. I'm making a rough sketch and I'm adding what's called leader lines, little lines that I can put my measurements in between. In between those two is 8 millimeters. From the top of the bump down to the head is 2 millimeters. And this little part on the bottom we'll call the socket. That's what one of the bumps goes into. Just one. And the plug is round. It's a circle. So really these measurements we could call a diameter from one side of the circle to the other. The diameter of the socket is 6.5 millimeters. Simply adding some hair over the minifig shape and a bit of colour really brings Hermione to life. But what we really want is to be drawing in 3D. Here's how easy it is. Notice how I've tipped that ellipse over so it's like an egg on its side. Trace over that, measure down 5 millimeters and mark off. Back in the original position, slide down to that 5 mil mark and draw half an ellipse. So what I've drawn is a really small cylinder. Place a dot right in the middle of that ellipse. Now using the top half of the big ellipse, I'm lining it up with that dot and I'm marking in just the top half of that ellipse. Cool. Now we're going to measure 30 mil from that dot and mark off. This time I'm using the bottom half of the ellipse. Slide it down to your point and mark in the bottom half. Join those up carefully. Run your ellipse a little around to the front, but not far because it's not a sharp corner, it's rounded. Now for the socket. Bring a line down a little, and when you trace, just halfway to the sides and bring that line up. Great. A light center line and we'll draw a simple face. Some round eyes, but I'm leaving a really small circle and that's going to be the reflection in the eyes. Eyebrows are high if they're surprised and low if they're mean. And that looks like he's scared. And with a mouth that's wide open, he's going to look absolutely terrified. Now I'm darkening in my cutting line, but also those little ones because it's overlapping the plastic behind it. Great. So there's our first minifig. Here's a quick run through, just to recap that. There's my bump at the top. From that point, we line up the ellipse. 30 mil down, bottom part of the ellipse, carefully join up, and then draw in your socket at the bottom. Here's some more eyes, no reflection in these ones, and the eyebrows are right down on the eyes, so he's pretty cranky. Here's another one with some eyelashes. And really carefully draw in some detailed lips. The socket on the bottom, which I forgot. Here's how to draw the body. First the shoulders. Use your left and right splat lines. Darken it in. Now for the body. Drop the lines down on a slight angle away from the head. I'm copying that line and marking it in there, and I'm done. A little arm, easy. What will you draw or design for the head? Let's add lots of hair to this minifig, hairband. She's going to be my music teacher. I'm erasing the detail from the top of this minifig, so I'm going to give this one a different hairstyle. We're going to add the crazy hair, and this one I think will be my maths teacher. very serious. Notice the shoulders are turned in the opposite direction. The body's facing the other way. Still the same thing, just mirrored. And there's a calculator, of course, in the pocket. Adding a tie here to my very well-dressed maths teacher, but under his arm are some test papers waiting for his students. Notice if you've got a black pen, how it makes it stand out. Now to supersize that minifig, a really big ellipse, mark off 6mm, slide down to that point and draw in half an ellipse. You've drawn a cylinder. Now copy the bottom curve, that one right there, and make yourself a really big ellipse. It should actually be about 60mm wide from one side to the other. Draw in one splat length, so from the blip down, I'm measuring that using the side of the splat. Now copy that curve, that front of the ellipse, back in there. Use light lines until you're happy with the shape and then darken in slightly. I don't need that one there anymore because remember it's not a sharp corner. All these corners are rounded. I can use the ellipse to darken in my cutting line there. And done. All I need to do is add the socket on the bottom. Let's draw a new face. First a center line. I'm drawing some glasses. I'm starting with the bridge and then the top of the lenses and the little ear stalks. I'm really lightly drawing in the shape that I want, and then I thicken the lines by copying or offsetting another one right beside it. Any shaped glasses you draw will be fine. Here's my eyes. They're small, but you can see I've also got the reflection in there. Different shape eyebrows. Once you've got your shape, come back and thicken them up. The larger your drawing is, the thicker your lines will become. I wonder what sort of teacher you could imagine this one being. There's a nice lip shape and there's a bottom lip. So the mouth on this one is closed. Add a little bit of lippy. And what could you imagine being on the top of this minifig? Math teacher shirt. I would lightly colour the whole shirt and then in some areas come back and darken it up a little bit. Good drawings look interesting because you've got light next to dark. It's called contrast. Here I'm using a felt tip pen to mark in my cutting line. The black against the yellow makes it really stand out. I could use the splat ellipse to do that, but sometimes with the felt tip it can smudge a bit, so be careful there. And I'm mucking around here with the felt tip, and I think it works a treat to bring up all that gorgeous hair. If you're a beginner drawer, of course, use a black pencil, because that way you can erase any mistakes that you might make. Next we'll finish by giving Hermione's hair just a little bit of a cutting line as well. If you'd like some more cool tutorials, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for working along. I'm Glenn. It's been fun. Thanks. Bye.